How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video here. I don't know if you guys remember the living knife that I made. This was made from a leaf spring and just some old wood. We made this knife. Now I'm going to try to make her a sheath. This is going to be the very first sheath that I ever made, but I think I'll do okay. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to show you what I have to work with, and we'll see what we can do about building the sheath. Alright, we got us a big old piece of leather there. We're going to get us a pattern traced out for this knife. We're going to do it in paper. Bring it over here, lay it on this thing, trace it out, and we're going to get her cut out. Okay, now I don't know a lot about these, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. I'm going to do my best, and we're going to see what we can come up with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the blade out to the end of the leather. So I'm just going to hold the knife down there, and I'm going to go around this guy about what I would think would be 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to go down through here and mark it out. I'm going to go all the way around about 1/4 of an inch. Now I could be wrong here, so don't hold me to this, guys. This is my first one that I'm doing. So I think it's pretty good. I think I got about 1/4 inch on that. And then we know we want to fold this down on the back for a belt. I'm going to do the fold about right in here somewhere. And then I want to come down this back. You know what? I'm going to leave it a little bit wider, and then if I want to trim it off, I can. So I'm just going to leave it a little bit wider coming down through here, and I'll trim it off wherever I want it. So we know that we're going to fold right here, so we're just going to cut this guy straight up through here, and I'll just keep going with that. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but we gotta start somewhere. Okay. Now we know where our bend's gonna be. I got it marked right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and bend this down. Like so. Now that leaves me with the knife, the blade part here. So we'll get us another razor blade here somewhere. Okay, we're just going to take a razor blade and we're going to cut this guy right here, straight down through here. Right on that line. Trim that guy off. Then we're going to line that side there up again. We're going to trim this side off. Just going to go with the curve of that blade there. Okay. Now we're going to look at the back of this and get where our belt loop's going to be. We don't need a whole lot, but we need enough to put our belt loop on. So I'm going to cut it about right in here. Like I said, I don't think any of this has to be perfect. It's just how we want to make it. So that's the one side. We put the knife in there. Hopefully we'll have enough for the stitches in there. I'm gonna actually mark this bottom a little better. Let's see here. Let's go right down through here. I think that looks much better. Right down through there. So we'll cut that off. That looks like a pretty good size. I'm gonna cut this guy here off. Now, let's see where our knife is going to go again here. Now, I thought what I would do is right about, well, actually we might just leave it alone right there. I thought about making it a little bit smaller, but we're going to need a something around here to keep the knife from falling out, like a snap right in here. So I think we're going to leave this guy alone. I think it's going to be okay right there. Got a little bit on this side here to trim. Okay. Now that's our first step to our pattern anyhow. Now we're going to take another piece. We're going to lay this down on another piece of this paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to trace out this piece on another piece about as high as we want it on the knife. We're going to go about right there, right where that piece there leaves off, I guess, huh? So we'll trace this out and then cut this piece here. Now we'll cut this piece off. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and we're going to trace it again on here. We're going to trace it again and cut one more out. Okay, we'll get rid of this piece of paper. Now we have two of these and one of these. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch and go around and cut this inside out. So we're just going to go about right in here. This should be about the size of our knife, hopefully. We're going to go all the way around. About right there. Go right around this side too, doing the same thing. Now our stitches are going to be on this side. Hopefully that's what we're shooting for. We'll see, because I'm going to put this up to my knife. Alright. Now if I put that up to the knife blade should just go inside that, and it does. It fits pretty good right there. Pretty hard for you to see, but it will fit in there. So now I'm going to cut this piece. Okay, here's what I'll do. Cut this piece down here. I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch from the end down here. I'll do the same thing with the other side. Wish I had white paper to work with. It'd be a little easier to see that line. Okay. Now I'm just going to cut this from here down to the other line. Alright, I should be able to punch this guy out here, hopefully. Alright, now each one of these we're going to cut out of leather. Each one of these guys. Hopefully I'm doing this all okay. And then we're going to use this one. This is going to be our outside piece. This is going to be our middle piece here, like this. Now we'll cut that out later, but I want it to hold its shape. And then we'll cut this piece to fit on top of there. And then if we sew these guys all together, and we should be able to put a snap on there and have us a nice little sheath for this knife. Hopefully. That's what I'm shooting for. So let's get some leather cut out now. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I got each one of the pieces traced out on this piece of leather. So I'm just going to take my razor blade knife and I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, but I'm going to cut a little, I'm going to cut each piece out first before I just cut the leather real close. I'm just going to cut them out. So I got each individual piece. I'm probably wasting a little bit of leather here, but like I said, I got to learn. We're just going with the flow. I know this has got some blemishes in it, but like I said, it's our first one. We're just going to give it a try and see how it turns out. Okay, now we're just going to sit here and cut each one of these guys out. Take our time, cut them out, and then we'll get you guys back in here. Okay, we got all of our leather cut now. This piece is going to go over this, on top of this. I'm just hoping that I don't have it too tight. I don't think so. I think it'll be okay. Then this piece will go over this, and then we'll fold that piece down and we'll put it down that way. That way we'll have something to hang it on our belt, and we're going to put a little strap around this right in here somewhere to hold it in there. So that's what I got so far. We'll figure out what's next. Okay, I thought maybe the next thing I'd do is I'd bend this, but I heard some noise right here and it looks like almost like a crack. Now I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not, but I didn't go very far with it, so I stopped it. Now I'm just going to take a sponge and I'm going to wet that a little bit because I'm a little worried it's going to break it. Now I don't know. So we're just going to wet it a little bit on both sides, and hopefully that'll keep it from cracking. I don't want it cracking, that's for sure. I'm just going to dampen it with a sponge and see if that'll help it. See the crack right here? Looks like a crack in it. Right there. I don't know if that's going to hurt or not. Hope not. You guys tell me if this leather came from Tandy Leather. I actually drove to Greensburg to get this, and this is vegetable oil tan, I think that's what they call it. So you guys know if that's supposed to do that, or did I just screw that piece of leather up or not? I don't know. but it bends much easier if I wet it. But it does look like there's a little crack in there. I don't know if that's going to hurt anything or not. Anyhow, I thought maybe I would put this strap on first, this here, and the one going around the knife first before I started working on the bottom part. I don't know if I'm putting the cart before the horse or not. Now I marked down there where I wanted those two little cuts at, and then I wet this thing anyhow. Just put some water on it, sponge some water on it, and it don't look like it's gonna crack now, but I'm not crazy about that little crack. It's bugging the crap out of me, but if I have to make her another one, I will, but I'm gonna keep going with this one to make sure. I mean, this is basically like practice, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. So I got me a piece here, and I think this is about 5/8 inch thick. It's 5/8 of an inch thick, just a little bit more. I'm hoping that my snap will go in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two cuts in here, the width of this, and then I'm going to slide this down through there and twist it up around a knife and see how long the pieces I need. So hopefully I'm doing this right. Me learning to do this leather was all about building these sheaths for these knives. If I could build a knife, I want to be able to build the sheath too. So, like I said, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but that's the way I'm doing it. I'm going to wet that a little bit too. Man, that bugs me. Anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to try to get our piece of leather down through there. Now I don't know if I should poke two holes, one on each side of that, or just keep going with it the way we are. Trying to widen that out just a little bit, so maybe that will go down in there easier. Yeah, we'll try it anyhow, see what happens. I guess we're going to put it in this direction. I guess it ain't going to be as easy as I thought. I think I'm going to have to cut these slices just a little bit bigger to be able to get that down in there. That's still pretty tight in there. I'm going to cut a little wedge on the back of this guy. I can always cut that off. Well, we got it started. Definitely tight. I don't know if that's good or bad. Go a little bit more. Well, we got it in there. Now we gotta get this side in here. That's definitely pretty tight in there. Now we should have more than enough to be able to snap over our knife. Way more than enough to snap over it. So I'll just mark this and go ahead and cut some of this off. Now, flap that over. Gotta cut that off about right in there. Okay, hopefully that's going to give us enough to snap. I hope. It's going to be a tight one. I suppose we could go ahead and put our snap on. It's definitely going to be tight. I might have made that too short. Let's see, that one's already too short. We're going to put some couple snaps in there and just see how far this goes over. It may work, but it's going to be tight. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple snaps in this guy. big test. Will it snap? It snaps, but it's tight. Snaps, but it's tight. So now we're gonna take it, we're gonna bend this piece down, and we're gonna hook it on for our belt, and then we can get started on the bottom piece. So it works. It's a little tight, but I think that might stretch out a little bit, and I think it might actually end up being pretty decent. So it don't look too bad. So now what I got to do is get this guy bent down and get it attached where I'm going to put it down here. That way we can get it sewed in there or rivet it. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to have to get it done. Okay, as you guys can see, the little crack here bugged me so bad that I went and cut another piece, and this time I wet it so I could bend it. I don't got no cracks or anything, and I wet this and put the 2 snaps on here. And I wanted to let everybody know that whoever's starting out, these are line 20 snaps. I don't know what that means, but it says line 20 snaps. When I first started this, I had to call my brother just to see what size snap that was. So I'm using a line 20, just so you know. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing bent down around, and we're going to go ahead and attach this where our belt loop goes, and then we're going to start working on the bottom piece. I have a stamp I might put in this outside piece. So we're just kind of going with the flow here. So just taking our time and doing it the best that we can. So I'll set this off to the side, and we might be able to cut this up and use it for another project of some type. Sure. So we're going to be working on this part next. Alright, I got some leather cement. I made a little line across there where this is going to go, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on here. And we're going to put a little bit on this side too. Just the 2 pieces we want to stick together. I'm going to fold these down around to the crease and just hold it on there until it dries. Just keep some pressure on it until it dries. Now, I got a little box of these rivets. I don't know how you tell the sizes, but it has quite a different, it's like an assorted bunch of them in here. It's not just one size. It seems like there's several different sizes. At least 3 I think I can see in there. 3 different sizes. So maybe even 4. There might even be 4 different sizes. So I don't know what to tell you on the size. But anyhow, I think they look about $8, and you get quite a few of them. So that's what I'm going to be putting. I'm going to put 2 of these, 1 in each side of this right here. And then we might even sew that a little bit. We got it glued up there. So we're going to go ahead and get our rivets put in. I'm just going to be punching a little hole in there. I don't think it takes a very big one. These guys, I think it takes a small one. So I'm just going to punch 2 holes in here. 1 on each side. Trying to get them to look about the same. So we got our 2 holes. Do these little rivets up in here. 1 on that side. 1 on this side. And then if we want, we can sew across there if we want to. We're glued, riveted, and we can sew it too. So I'll go ahead and get the little anvil out here and get her set up here and see if we can get these guys together here. Hopefully we get this to work. I suppose I could just set them down on there and use this guy like this. Try it out. Oh, it's on there tight. It's on there pretty tight. Get the other one, stick it on there. We'll do the same thing. I like this little anvil for this. It's been working out just fine for me. Go a little bit more on that. Okay. Now we got, that's pretty good. That looks pretty good. Alright, now I think we can finish this guy up and work on the bottom part of it. Okay, I'm not real familiar with all these tools, but to give me this thing, it makes a nice neat line. I'm going to use it to go down the edge where I'm going to put my stitches. As you can see, I made a real nice line on there, but I'll be using it on this here. That way I'll get a nice straight line where my stitches are going to go. This thing has also got another tip here, and I think it's actually to cut a groove in there so your stitches stay in a groove. I'm not going to use it today, but we're just going to use this guy, and we're going to go down through here and mark this thing out the best that we can. I'll leave enough on that end. I think that's okay. And then we'll come over here on this end and do the same thing over here. We'll go right down around this. It does a pretty good job. Right up to where I want them to stop. Almost at the end up here. But I think what I'm going to do is right at the end of these, I think I'm going to put 2 more of them rivets and maybe 1 rivet down here. I don't want it to come apart, and if I do this, I think it's going to stay together pretty good. So that'll be sandwiched on top of this guy like so. It'll make us a nice. Now I have a couple stamps. I think I'm going to put her a stamp on here. I wish I had a flower Livy, but I don't have one. So I'm going to take that and probably put a little deer on there because I know she wants to go deer hunting. So let's see, I'm going to dampen that leather a little bit. Maybe I'll do that stripe over again. Just to make sure it's in there good. Seems like when that leather is wet, sure does mark nice. Nicer. Okay. Now that's where our stitches are going to go. So we'll go ahead and let's see, maybe we'll put our stamp on next. Okay, now I have a stamp here. Well, that was part 1. Part 2 I'm going to post as soon as I can. We'll do it in the same day. That way you'll have the full video. I had to cut this video in half. It was 1 hour and 7 minutes long. I hated to have even that long of a video, but guess what? That's what it took for me to show you how I built the sheath. And I think what I showed you on there is what I was looking for on when I started. I wanted to build a sheath. I couldn't find out what size snaps I need. There was a lot of things I couldn't find out. So I tried to do my best to explain to you what I used for my first beginning sheath. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment if you like, and look for that part 2. It'll be out real soon. Until next time.